Okay, I don't really understand how this is going to work for me, but I'll sit there and put it out there like this. Everybody has a big struggle in life. Everybody has what they sit there and call ups and downs. Yes, a lot of people, as myself, have made a lots and lots of mistakes, as in a lot of us have cheated on our women. A lot of our women have cheated on us. But the stuff that we have to deal with on a daily basis, behind wanting to fix something, you know, it's just easier to let it go and actually forget about it and try not to, keep bringing it up. Even if both parties are still calm, some way, somehow, one of the individuals decides to get upset. And then the conversation goes from a conversation to a fight. And when you have stuff like that, you do not have a proper relationship because you have zero communication anymore. You start a relationship off with having trust, communication, and awareness of what both parties are wanting and are trying to succeed with. After you reach a certain point, things seem like they get a little slow. I know it's happened to me. It's still happened to me to where I've ended up having brain farts to where I don't know which way I want to go. I don't know if I want to go get something to eat. I don't know if I want to stay at home. I don't know if I want to go to the park after getting something to eat. After a period of time, all these ideas that you sit there and have throughout a relationship dwindle. And as these problems and everything dwindle, other problems come up. You as a man or you as a female might come up with the idea of, ooh, bringing a third party in is going to be a wonderful, wonderful idea. Not absolutely completely the best idea. I heard stories about it, for one, and two, I legitly actually witnessed it myself. But whenever it really comes down to it and you really sit there and say you love someone, even after waiting some time to sit there and say, look, I love you. Even after the other person has been nagging that they saying that they love you for several months before you say I love you, because that person has stated that I love you first, had also told you don't say it to me unless you mean it. So you wait a couple of months and then you say it because you mean it, and then you go and ask for a threesome, or the other person asks for a threesome. You have the threesome, the other party sits there and wants to make it a legit, official relationship with the other person, which you already know where that's going to end up, but you say yes anyway. Because most men honestly aren't thinking up here, they're thinking with the thing downstairs. So as we're sitting there progressing on into that relationship, we're not realizing that we've actually set ourselves up for a trap. Therefore, we fall right into what we actually wanted, and the female arranged it, or the male, however you want to converse this. Somebody arranged it to where it happened. And now that it's happened and everything's on its way, you try to get something in the middle of the night, this person don't want it, because this person don't want it, you go over to the other person and get it from the other person, even though you know it's against the rules that has been stated by your significant other. You still broke all the rules. You still sat there and broke all the trust. Therefore, you don't have trust. You don't have communication. You don't want to be around them, because every time you see them or anything like that, you get mad, you get frustrated, and you want that person to just go poof. Well, when you got kids involved with stuff like that, it's not so easy for you to just go poof. This COVID shit hit. Excuse me for cussing. This COVID stuff hit, and it really messed up a lot of people's lives. I was one of them that was actually affected. I lost my job because of the COVID. I've been out of work for the last 4 months, but it doesn't mean that I haven't had another opportunity to make myself go up in life. But we sit here and we struggle and we try to figure out what it is that we as an individual are actually doing wrong. Well, people, for the ones that actually watch this all the way through, because I don't know how long I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to... I haven't ever done this before, so I'm just speaking my mind because I'm irritated right now. Maybe I can actually find someone out here on social media that understands and wants to follow and sit there and watch someone grow. See, I watched a lot of YouTube in the last 4 years. I tell you this, Mo Sargi, my Canadian brother, you do fantastic fantastic videos. No, I'm not editing this, and I'm going to do it intentionally because it needs to be legitly honest. Oh my gosh, look at your success. Even though you had a divorce with what, 4 kids? 3 or 4 kids? Don't quote me on that, but look at what you did. You moved forward, you sit there and had a better life, and you made better choices. Stuff like I'm talking about right here. There's a man that sat there and pushed through a divorce and made something better of himself. So we can always do better. We just got to be willing to do the better for ourselves. CJ Faison of Faison Nation. You, on the other hand, you had money because you was NASCAR. But I love the videos. They're freaking amazing. Demolition Ranch. I'm going to call out all of the people that I've watched because I see their success. Hopefully one day I can sit there and say, these are the people that motivated me, CJ, or allowed me to live a little, Mo Sargi, or the ones that sits there and just makes everybody laugh at the end of the videos just to sit there and say, give me a kiss. Come on. Success is in the beholder. We sit there as an individual looking for relationships. In order to have a relationship, you have to have friends. And in order to have friends, you have to have trust. I discussed all that before I got into that stuff. But in order to have a successful business, friendship, or even relationship, 2 necessities is always necessary to have. And if you break either one of them, you might as well sit there and say that the relationship, the friendship, and the business partner or any of that is completely done for a lot of people. But then you got some people like me that's willing to try, willing to push forward, willing to accept my mess ups and correct my faults by looking at what it is that I can do better for myself and for my community. Not what it is that I can sit there and do better for this individual or this individual, because it's not what we can do for each other. It's what we can do for ourselves. But in the process of doing for ourselves, we need, and honestly, we need to truly look out for other individuals, no matter if it's a bad relationship, if it's a good relationship, if it's a bad friendship, if it's a death of a friend, if it's a death of a loved one, if it's the death of one of our service members. We need to be there to comfort everybody, because only we can change what the future has to hold. And if we don't sit there and look out for others to stop all of the nagging, corrupt, dumb, retarded ignorance, we might be able to get somewhere. But the government's wanting to get richer. They don't want us to sit there and get any better. They like us struggling. That's what I sit there and say I like about Trump. And I'm kind of rambling on, but somebody will understand the picture behind this. Not something that's easy to actually talk about because I've got so much running through my head. I got a bad relationship going on. I'm wanting to fix it. But the relationship has gone so south that the old lady doesn't care to want to fix it with the way that she acts. She says one thing, but she acts another thing, but she sits there and says and acts a total opposite way with something else. And that confuses some people like us. I lost trust. Well, I guess if you really want to look at it, I lost communication first. And because I lost communication, I lost respect. I lost dignity. I lost my own self-purpose. I lost myself whenever I did that. 2, trust. If you don't have trust, you're not going to go anywhere either. Because you got to be able to trust that I'm going to work and back home. We also have to trust our woman to go to work and back home. Now, if we go out to a club, some of us go club hopping, some of us go bar hopping, some of us just like having good times. Not knocking that. But with that trust, you know whenever you leave that club that your significant other is going to leave that club with you. Whenever you don't have that trust, you don't have a bond. And that's where it's messed up with me. I lost communication. I lost respect. Then I messed up and I slept with my girlfriend or my fiance or ex-fiance. I don't know where to go with it, however to go with it. But I lost those 3 things: communication, respect, and trust. Now it seems like no matter how hard I really try to allow something to, blossom back up, my significant other does not. Didn't ever sit there and lie to her about what happened. I was honest and I was a complete man about it. Everything else, I've been mad at myself. I really have been mad at myself. And that's probably another reason why the relationship has went down even further, because I know what I did was wrong. I am ashamed of what I did, because it wasn't the smartest thing to do, because I hurt someone that really, really, truly, no questions or doubts about it, at the time, loved me. I will say this, after I post this and you just happen to see it, I do love you. I'm trying to do everything that I can for you, to make myself better for you, not as an individual, as a man and as a father. I have ideas. I throw my ideas out. They get shot down. You throw ideas out. Apparently, I've shot them down. You sit there and say that I haven't sat there and made a romantic date. Well, that's where the brain fart comes in. And I've lost my creativity And my partner hasn't sat there and tried to help me understand where my creativity went, or try to help me understand maybe we need to sit there and find something to spunk this back up. Well, did, and still bad things happen. I guess the only thing I can do is to, start off with videos like this, expressing myself. See what somebody has to say about what I have to sit there and say. Same thing with these jobs. I brought that up. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. I'm a poor broke bastard myself. Come on. You see, I'm pretty much in trees right now, but if I was to turn around, you'll sit there and see a old raggedy looking barn. Whenever you sit there and notice that there's a lot of people out there that's got money, a lot of them people that are out there honestly don't have to look at an eyesore like this, because they've done one of three things. They've busted their hump and they've made their money by being successful in owning or running a business. You have others that have worked their tails off in industries, as in one that I used to work for, XPO Logistics. Loved the job. COVID hit, production went down, money, manufacturing type situation. Understand what the layoff was. Got to have money to keep your business going. Didn't upset me. I kind of hope to go back, but 4 months later and I can't go back yet. But even with stuff like that, the general manager there, or the general manager that owns Casey's, or the general manager that is at Walmart, all of these people sit there and spend all of this time making all of this money to get somewhere, but yet they're still broke. I can't sit there and say I got any money in my pocket. I sit there and stretch out my fucking pocket. Excuse me, I'm cussing again. I stretched out my pocket. And if you remember the mask, the first one, when he was in the bathroom and he pulls out his pocket and a little moth comes out, flies around, and he sits there and says, "Ooh, can't make the scene if you ain't got the green. I better make a little stop." That's true. That is some of the truest things that I've ever heard. I'm 33 years old, about to turn 34 next month, and I'll tell you this: money talks, BS walks. Scared money's no money. You got to have money to make money. All this stuff is stuff that I've legitimately heard out of the 34 years of my life. Or should I sit there and say, actually, more or less the last 15 years of my life. There's opportunities out here for us to take. Some of us have the finance to take it. Others, as myself, we have to struggle and make this work for this and make this work for that if we want anything. But whenever it comes down to our relationships, everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to be lonely. That's where I sit there and say, my friends, we all need to come together. Like Lil Wayne said, no matter your color, your race, or your nationality, we need to come together as a people and become united. Because the more we fight against each other, the worse off this world's going to be. Just like a relationship, it's just going to fall apart. On that behalf, I appreciate you guys listening to me. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Show me a little bit of love if you really care. Now, next time I sit there and come to you, I might be a little more positive. I might have a little more to sit there and say that's good things. But other than that, we'll have to see, won't we? You have a good, blessed day, and I will catch you somewhere on the flip side. Bye.